Alright, so here we go. The first step we are going to do is an fdisk -l. This will show us all the disk on the system. The one that we're going to use is dev sdb, and we can see down here that it's empty, which is what we want. So we're going to do an fdisk /dev/sdb. Okay, you can do an M here for help to see the commands. We're going to do a P to show the partition table. It's currently empty. You're going to do an N to create a new partition. We're going to do a primary partition, so we'll hit P. We're going to do partition number 1. For the first sector, we're going to just go in the default, which will be the beginning of the disk. The last sector, we'll press enter, which will default to use the entire disk. Okay, and then we are going to hit T to change the type of that partition. And you can hit L here to see a list. We're going to go with 8E, which is Linux LVM. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and do a P to show the partition table. And we can see our dev sdb1 here with the Linux LVM partition type. And we're going to hit W to write that. Alright, now we're going to run part probe. This will make the device visible to the kernel. And we are going to do a pvcreate on /dev/sdb1, which is the partition that we just created there. Okay, that creates the physical volume in LVM. Next, we're going to do a vgcreate, and then we'll call this volume group myvg, and then we'll give it to the path to the physical volume we just created, /dev/sdb1. Okay, we now have a volume group. Next step, we're going to create a logical volume. That'll be an lvcreate. We'll do a -l, and we'll specify the size. In this example, we're going to say 512 megabytes. We'll do -n, and then give it a name. We'll call it mylv, and then we tell it what volume group we're creating this on, which will be myvg. That's the volume group we just created here. Alright, we'll press enter. And we're getting this because I was testing this before, and it's detecting that there was already an ext file system on there, so that's okay. We'll go ahead and say yes. Normally you won't see that. Alright, so it created the logical volume, and next we're going to create a mount point for where we're going to mount this file system. So we're going to do mkdir. We're going to call this app1. That'll be our mount point. Next, we're going to actually create the Ext4 file system. We'll do an mkfs.ext4, then do /dev/mapper, and then myvg-mylv. So it's the volume group dash the logical volume. Alright, we'll press enter. That just created the file system there. Next, we'll add it to the etc fstab. This is what will make it automatically mount at boot. And the entry we'll add here is /dev/mapper, and then we'll do myvg, that's the volume group, -mylv, which is the logical volume. Hit a tab. We'll do the mount point, which is app1. File system type ext4, defaults, and then we'll do a 1, that's for the file system dump, and then the 2, that's the order that it does the fs check in. So, alright, that's good to go. So now it'll automatically mount it in boot. Let's go ahead and do a mount on /app1. That'll read the etc fstab as well to see what device it is and go ahead and mount it. Alright, that was successful. Let's do a df -m on app1. And there we go. File system is created and mounted. Now let's also cover real quick how to extend a volume group, basically make the file, or I'm sorry, not a volume group, extend a file system to make it bigger. So we'll do an lv extend, do a -l, and then we want to add, in this example, 256 meg. And so what we do is we say plus, that means add to what's there, 256 m for megabytes. And then we'll do a -r that says not only extend the logical line but also resize the file system. Then we'll do a /dev mapper myvg -mylv. Alright, and you can see it successfully resized it. We'll do df -m on app1. You can see it added, it was 488 before, now it's 740. It added the 256 megabytes. And then if you want to reduce it, it's a similar command. We'll do an lv reduce -l 512. Let's this time let's do a -512 m. that'll basically subtract 512 meg from the current file system, since we have the minus in front of there. And then we'll do with minus R, this will resize the file system. This is very important. You have to be careful when you do this. You want to make sure things are done in the right order. If you do the LV reduce with a minus R, it'll do it all for you. It'll reduce the logical volume and the file system at the same time, so that's the easiest way to do it. And then we'll do the dev mapper myvg minus mylv. Alright, and it's going to tell us it cannot do this online. It has to unmount it, so we'll go ahead and say yes. And it successfully resized it. If we do df minus m on app1, you can see it's shrunk down now, 512 meg. Shrinking the file systems, I mean, it works, but it makes me a little nervous, so I would recommend backing up your data before you shrink any file systems, just in case. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. I hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching the video, and I hope you guys all have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks.